loan loss reserves increase at dramatic rates. Many of my peers will consider them to be excessive levels. You also are seeing capital ratios being raised by the examiners in the field. In my oral testimony, you heard where my leverage ratio went from 5% to 10%. That limits our ability to lend. It forces us to look at our balance sheet and possibly shrink that. You heard in my oral testimony we had loans of $248 million, which shrunk to $200 million.
And what's happening to you is typical of what's happening to all of your members and the community bankers?
I think that it's typical to what happens in various regions of the country, the West Coast, Oregon, Washington, Florida. Certainly there are states that are suffering more than others. All my peers, it's certainly happening with that they're crying the blues. It's difficult.
I would mirror Mr. Andrews and a lot of his comments. I would tell you that the regulatory environment is significantly impacting our ability to lend. And I think that some of the write-downs that are being placed on banks for because of the appraisals dropping, the real estate market is going down significantly. And because of that, we are taking more money into reserves. We have a very, very strong reserve at our bank, along with very good capital ratios. But to keep those and maintain those and work through the problem credits is going to impact the ability of us to borrow, to lend to qualified borrowers.
So if the bank examiners were to value assets at something approximating fully functioning market values, and were not to insist on excess capital over and above the regulatory requirements, you would be making more loans?
I would be able to make more loans, yes, sir.
Thank you. That's the same question, Mr. Grant.
Okay, yes, I would respond in total agreement with Mr. Andrew and Mr. Bridgman and add a few other things. The illiquidity, we have circumstances the regulators come in and say, well, here's these classified loans, they're impairing your ability to lend, but yet there's really no avenue for off-placing those loans. You have to work through them, and indeed I think the tenor of the entire day has been an attitude of working with the small customers. The other thing I would also add is the concentration levels. The regulators now require a significant amount of slicing and dicing, if you will, of the loan portfolio, and will suggest that you must not lend any more of this type of loan or that type of loan, and sometimes based on the markets you serve, that certainly could impede it. Some of the criterion that they use with the levels of capital they indicate are guidelines, but by the time it comes into the field, they're pretty much requirements.
Good. Thank you. Ms. Nash? I've got only another 40 seconds, so you can speak with Mr. Hoyt.
We have a little bit of a different experience. Our regulators have been quite complimentary of us in terms of building our loan loss reserves and the way we take and analyze our risk. I think what we do see, though, is, we understand we're in Michigan, which has experienced, probably the worst part of the recession of any state in the country. I'll give maybe a little bit to California on the end of the table there. But the fact is, what we see is there is a future uncertainty risk. And I think Mr. Grant mentioned that as his comments as well, that we do see a little more emphasis on that. We have, quite frankly, a lot of support about our credit analytics and our approach around our credit to date.
My time has expired, but others of you can respond in writing if you wish. I'd ask Mr. Bacchus for a concluding comment.